Hey y'all, Irix Guy here, back again for another live show. So if you're watching this, comment live, super chat, and super sticker. Anything is fair game. Just keep everything clean, and we're gonna have a good time. Let's get to it. And talk about drones, talk about computers. By the way, as promised yesterday, if you tuned in for yesterday's live show, I did provide Philippe all of the links to the recommendations I had for for the Mac video editing computer. So I sent all that, and I will be posting recommendations as part of a video that'll be going live here this evening. So feel free to check that out if you're looking for video editing computer recommendations. I will be posting that along with the we got. Don't have the game available here within the next. Well, I don't want to become overly optimistic, but who knows? Maybe it'll come this coming week. But as soon as it does, you'll be tuned in here for the unboxing and the field test and fun. But yeah, just getting some exercise and talking live on YouTube. So any of your comments are to let's see, there we go. I got my live chat on. For whatever reason, the YouTube app now, if you don't toggle live chat, it defaults to another chat option. So if you're doing a YouTube live broadcast from an iPhone, you probably need to be aware of that. But yeah, just good weather. We got this COVID lingering around, though. That's no fun. Not fun at all. But yep, it is Friday. It's the first of the month. Yep. May the 1st of 2020. It's hard to keep track of days, if you know what I mean. It's just kind of like all the days run together. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. As long as you stay physically active, because there's a lot of people that, because of the pandemic, there's a lot of people that are getting really fat because they refuse to exercise. And ultimately, hey Jake, Ontario, Canada, welcome aboard, man. Good to see you. Yeah, so this show, we'll just talk about whatever y'all want to talk about: drones, technology, entrepreneurial advice, entrepreneurial conversations, drone conversations, whatever y'all want to talk about. Well, Jake, welcome aboard, man. This is just my a little live show I do, very informal. Just take the camera out and walk, and try to burn some calories, and talk about drones, technology, yeah, I was buff that, and that's something I'll remember. People like Jay, just there's a sketchy LTE network, just because of the storms, the hurricanes, and all that, So, yeah, Philippe, I shot you all the links on the Irish Guy Facebook page. I shot you all the links to all the video editing equipment like I use. Doing well. How are you doing, Philippe? Glad to see you tuned in here. Just getting my cardio best I can, because there's no gym. And I tell you, even if a gym was open, I wouldn't go to it. It's unsafe. There's no workout that's worth destroying your lungs and possibly your life. I was asking, how much did you pay for? Oh man, I don't know. I got it when it came out, the MacBook Pro. I can't remember. I really can't. But it's good, and it's still solid. And I'm gonna I'm going to run that one for quite a while. I mean, it's an i9. i9 is the fastest. Yeah, so the video card goes inside the big box. All the big box is the other link that I sent you, the Sonnet. That's just kind of a, think of it as kind of like a PC type case, except in this instance, it's just a case with a power supply and a video card slot. So there's not room in there for a full-blown computer. It's just enough room and a power supply to power the video card, which, the cable, yeah, I mean, but see, that's the thing. You don't have to go with an eGPU, external graphics processing unit. But if you do, you don't have to go with this high end of a video card. I just provided a link to the video card like I use, which is the highest end video card. So, I mean, you could go, make sure it's compatible with OS 10, Mac OS, but you could go with a Vega 56 or, whatever Apple list is compatible with Mac OS. You wouldn't have to go. Mine is the 2018. So now Apple has, and I linked it too, but now Apple has a 2019, which is 16 inches. But, so I have a feeling the price of what I linked you is probably less than what I'd paid. I mean, I can't remember, man. It's been so long. Yeah, I mean, it's been, the 16 inches 2020. At Oswego Air Force Base last year in New York, International Air Show, they said they had a Predator and Reaper UAV. Very cool. Those are some serious drones. I would have a lot of fun flying one of those. That'd be a YouTube video right there, y'all. But yeah, Philippe, you don't have to do an eGPU at all, but if you do, you could always start out with just a basic model video card and then upgrade it later, the video card. They had them for the last few years. I bet those things are sinister. Sinister aircraft. Yeah, Philippe, that's what I mean, and to be frank, man, if you're just wanting something to video edit, don't even worry about the external graphics processing unit now. Maybe that's something you add later, and because you said you're running, I'm not in front of my messages, but, I think the MacBook Pro you were running, Macs are good for a few years, but, your current MacBook Pro is kind of got its, its first toe in the grave, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying it's not usable, but I'm saying for 4K video editing, you would be a lot better off. Yeah, 2015's pushing it. Pushing it, yep. But not pushing that. The UAF always displays drones. Last year, the Black Hornet Nano drone made its first appearance. Very cool. Very, very cool. Nano drone, tiny drone. No parking. What if I just parked right here? Yeah, I don't know, man. What about that button? The red emergency button. Let's see. No parking. Let's see. I'll probably summon the policia. Policia. Have you used a PC? Yeah, man, I used to build PCs. I used to build and sell PCs, and that was back in the 486 and Pentium days, a long time ago. It was a good business until the big box retailers bought at such greater volume, and I couldn't really compete with their prices at that point. So that was a good business model while it existed, but I got out of it. But as far as running a PC that I built, man, I haven't used a PC since I played video games, and that was a long time ago. And then, as soon as Mac OS 10 came out, I switched over to Mac and never looked back. Well, like I said, I installed DaVinci on my Mac, but I never really used it. And that's because I don't do a lot of color grading. You know, I do some saturation adjustments within Final Cut Pro 10, and that's about all I need for my purposes. But yeah, but the thing is, with PC, you can't run Final Cut Pro 10. You're limited to Adobe Premiere, which, I mean, that may be fine, but there's a subscription charge for it. And, I mean, that's a matter of personal preference. Canada just got them this year. Very cool, Jake. So, you know, I mean, if you're not married to Final Cut Pro 10, you know, you may want to take a stab with a PC, but think about this scenario. If you're using a PC, you get a virus, you've got a video, you really want to edit it. You get a virus, your whole PC comes to a crawl, and it's so bad you got to reinstall Windows 10. I mean, if you enjoy troubleshooting issues, you know, a PC may be the way to go. But if, you know, you're going to have to get virus scanner software, and that is cool. Yeah, stealth is important, man. Yeah, like I said, if I get disconnected, I'll come. But I said, maybe I'm not the best person for videos because I'm going to steer you towards Mac only. You know, so maybe you need to try to find someone that uses a PC for video editing and ask for their opinions. But I'll tell you, man, I hate PCs. I really do. When it comes to using them for a business and editing videos and photos, I hate PCs. So, again, just my opinion. You know, I'm not the authority over everything, but I'm the authority over everything on my channel. And I would never allow a PC to even enter my studio. That's how much I hate PCs. So, you know. That's how much I hate PCs. I do not like personal computers. Yep. So anyway, that's my opinion. You know, whether you're going MacBook Pro, iMac, the Oswego Air Show, they also do a demo with Pointer Man portable UAV showing how launched and recovered. Very cool. Yeah. So now we know if it's PC, it's not me. I hate Windows. The only thing I will use a PC for is if I'm building just a cheap, a cheap workstation. But in that scenario, I'm going to build a PC, but I'm going to install Linux on it, or Debian, or either Debian or Slackware or Ubuntu. That's the only thing I'm going to touch a PC with, is a version of Linux. In the past, I would have installed FreeBSD, but I'm not really that fond of FreeBSD anymore. It's just kind of aged. But, for that reason, Mac, you've got Mac OS X, which is a Unix operating system. But, unlike Linux, Jake says the Reaper and Predator do live fire demos, showing how very cool, man. Live fire. Fire. That sounds cool. I've been watching this show on Netflix. It's called, I can't even remember the name of it, but it's about the, I watch all the cartel shows. Those were good. Narcos and all that. But, hey, man, danger, high voltage, keep off. They ought to say the same thing about personal computers. Danger. There ought to be a warning label. You ought to have to sign a release before you're allowed to purchase a PC. Usually with Hellfire anti-tank. Hellfire, man, I remember those on the AH-64A, the Apache. Those are some mean anti-tank missiles. Very cool stuff. Pentagon finally admits that UFO videos released. Yeah, they did. Kevin, I noticed that too, man. That was a formal acknowledgement that the unidentified flying objects, and those are the UFOs that are observing the naval pilot's activities. Primarily out over, I think most of those are out over the Atlantic Ocean, aren't they? When they're doing practice runs out there, the naval fighters. Yeah, it's about time they acknowledge the UFOs because they're real, man. Yeah, California off of, there's that island out there, Catalina Island. That's a hot spot. Also a hot spot for USO, unidentified submersible object. Catalina Island, and then there's, what is it, Guadalupe, kind of in close proximity. A lot of, that's kind of a hot zone too. Man. Next year, NASA will be displaying a new satellite before its launch. Speaking of NASA, something interesting about NASA is, did you know that NASA, if you watch their live feed, that at times they will cut the live feed because they're capturing UFOs in the video, and this is documented. So look into that. You know, it's kind of interesting that we're seeing all this enhanced level of UFO activity when there's a reduced pandemic or staying inside. And I mean, just a few things, and you'll notice this, or maybe you've noticed it and you didn't realize it, but the wildlife is a lot more active. You're going to hear more birds. You're going to hear more, you're going to see more. Can you imagine the technology of the UFOs? Yeah, I know. Better than anything that Steve Jobs could dream up, I'm sure. So, thing is that now, because they're quarantined, that will launch satellite. For what I know, it's going to be the biggest thing there. Very cool. Yeah, NASA's got some good stuff, and the thing is, NASA is government funded. Bad part is that you know, I think the space program's a good thing, but man, we're going to be taxed like crazy. You have no idea because of all of these bailouts. Dude, you think taxes have been rough? Kevin says, Ira, it's good seeing you again. Stay safe and have fun. Oh, you too, man. Be on the lookout for UFOs. Be on the lookout for UFOs. They're out there. And it will be the first Delta II to be viewed outside of the state of Florida. Yeah, man, that's a big rocket. Super big. Super duper big. What do we have here? We have a bottle of Remy Martin on the ground. Very nice. Never know what you'll find during a live show. Never know. Speaking of UFOs, I've seen on a nearby ridge, saw a few Janet. Oh, Janet, I'm familiar with Janet. Just another non-existent terminal. That Janet Airlines apparently shuttles workers from Nevada, from Las Vegas to Area 51. Just another non-existent terminal. Janet. That's cool, man. So what kind of from the hill out there, and I've never been to Roswell, but what all were you able to see from the hill? The hill that you can go to without being arrested. What all were you able to see? Actually, I have a few photos of Janet 737s. Wow, man. Hey, this property is protected by surveillance cameras. Just a reminder. So, yeah, man. Janet, just another non-existent terminal. That's super cool, man. Super cool. Yeah, I'm looking for aliens right now, too. Here's the faculty and staff. That's kind of creepy. That is super creepy. Yeah, we're on the cusp of something big. Everything used a long lens spotting scope. Man, what? That is. I bet that was exciting, man. Did you have anybody looking back at you with a scope? Or did you? All visitors, please report to front office. Janet comes to the Oswego Air Show. They only bring one. Huh. Only bring one. Have you ever seen any reverse engineered UFOs? You know, stuff that was captured, and then, you know, a lot, you know, we're you know, if there's certain keywords you say, oops, buffering again, that stopped. But it started, well, it's funny, it started buffering when we started talking about Janet and, was it S, is it S5 or S, the big area is not Area 51, it's called S, is it S70, not S71, but S4, no, S something. Anyway, it's supposed to be where there's a lot of technology housed, and obviously Area 51 is just kind of the smoke screen. You know, it's there to draw attention. S74, yeah. I think that's where the actual stuff, at least at one point, was housed. You know, I don't really think there's anything of extraterrestrial interest at Area 51 right now. I think that's there, and yeah, like you said, they discourage you from entering, and I think they do all that just because, you know, if everybody assumes that's where all the reverse engineered or the actual extraterrestrial aircraft are, if they assume it's there and they assume it's heavily protected, and then they have these I've run into a few camo dudes, but they were not. Yeah, sorry, man. Funny, we started talking about all this potentially. Well, it's not classified, but real. But yeah, I don't think there's anything at Area 51 now. I think that's just a place where they can, you know, make it look like everything is, and they've got all the good stuff somewhere else that few people know about. So, you know, I think they've done a good job with Area 51 because they fly people in and out on Janet Airlines. They do have some sort of business that's performed there. But as far as UFOs there, I don't think Area 51 is where they are. And if they were ever there, they were there a long time ago. And you know what's really cool, and I'm sure y'all have read about this, but the Denver airport conspiracy, you read about that and what's allegedly below the surface of the Denver airport and who all owns it. You know, that'll really get you, yeah, that'll really get you Google searching and trying to find answers, because that's an interesting one. And, you know, I'm not big on conspiracy theories, but then again, you know, I'm not someone that believes everything I hear on the. I'll be frank, I hardly believe anything on the news. He did say he ain't going to be in it, but ahead of the picture, Raptors, very cool. That's awesome, man. Yeah, they don't want to be. They don't want to be the person that pops up on a YouTube video or a Google search and and get chewed out by their commanding officers, I guess. So why'd you let these guys photograph this, you know? And maybe part of the reason they're letting you photograph it, I don't know. We can speculate. Man, this pandemic's getting old. For sure. Oh, it's so good to see you. I'm looking forward to your Mavic Air too. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I am too. I'm hoping to get it, you know, very soon. As soon as it arrives. From epicdroneshow.com. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. It hasn't shipped yet, but you never know how quickly it may. At first, that camo dude came and said, asked why you're here. And I said, I was just watching Area 51 traffic, that's all. Russell says May 11th. Cool, man. Did they care that you were watching the air traffic? Speaking of air traffic, that's something I'd hate to do right now is get in an airplane. Can you imagine? With all this stuff in the air? I mean, in the, you know, people have and spreading it through the airports and the airplanes. Ugh. Nasty. Getting some good cardio here. Walking around YouTube Live. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. This is big. And yeah, it's only going to get more exciting once we get that, you know, once that Mavic Air 2 arrives. Because I'm going to be taking that sucker out. Yes, you fart in row 15 and it travels through the entire plane. Yeah, it's airplane's not a place. To be frank, I don't want to be anywhere enclosed in any sort of enclosed space or semi-enclosed space around other people. And for that matter, you know, if I have to go somewhere, that's interesting. What is that? That is pretty wild, man. That's cool. They were cool about it. I mean, you know, you never know. And see, like I said, I've never been to Area 51, so I'd. Okay, now we're back. That was weird. When I kept talking about that three-letter acronym NSA, it was cutting my LTE signal. But yeah, that was an interesting experience, and this was a while back. But I interviewed for the NSA, and I won't say what the position was or whatever, but you know, it's one of those things you go down that path and you research that, and it's like, you know, it'd be really cool. And there would be great benefits from the government, but you know, it's one of those deals. If you enter that line of work, you know, it's not something that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speculate here, but I can just imagine. You know, it's not like you pick up, you know, whatever job. It's like, okay, you work for the NSA. It's not like you just walk away. I mean, once you work for the NSA, you're pretty much committed, because you know, if you were ever wanting to step away, you probably wouldn't be able to. And if you did, you'd probably have people telling you all over the space, wherever you are. Sort of buffering. I didn't hear a response mentioning I was picture the Area 51 bus while it was parked. Very cool. Man, I'd love to see that if you got it on YouTube, or if you're able to share it, post it. That'd be super cool. Why I wanted to go into that line of work, into the the NSA and that sort of stuff. They're geniuses when it comes to reading people, and I think they kind of knew that I had a fascination with the extraterrestrials, and even though my IQ allegedly is extremely high, and I'm not bragging about that, it just supposedly is. I had the on paper I matched, exactly what they were looking for, but I think the curiosities that I have about extraterrestrials and all of that was kind of a red flag. So I'm happy with doing what I do. Not Area 51 though. It was in nearby town. It's hard to get that job. Yeah, it's NSA is not easy, but I'm glad that I'm glad I didn't go that route, to be frank. So it would have been I wouldn't, if I was doing that, I wouldn't be able to do YouTube and fly drones and do all this stuff. I'd be pretty much, even if I was on vacation, I'd be monitored around the clock, whether I wanted to be or not. And I just didn't want to give up, I didn't want to give up all my freedoms. And the funny thing is, even with, just something like this YouTube channel, when I go into, when I enter other countries, there's people that, it's weird, they know who I am. And it's not like I've ever gotten anything bad about it, but, it's interesting. It's a Bluebird, all Americans in the same type. You have probably seen the school buses. Yeah, I've seen Bluebird school buses. Yeah, I have, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I haven't seen the Area 51. This property is protected by surveillance cameras. Official and visitor parking only. Yeah, that's kind of looks like a prison bus. That kind of bus. Yeah, I've seen those, man. I have seen them. Yes, I have. But yeah, it's funny. You stop talking about no matter what's said on this show, and you start talking about those acronyms and all that, the things. There's videos on it on YouTube. I'll check that out. I will definitely check that out, man. Yeah, it's one of the camo dudes at Area 51. Super cool. Man, burning some calories, I tell you. Though, it's easy to start getting fat. I've been eating, I ordered about 98 cans of Chef Boyardee, so I've been indulging in that. But I have had a few treats. I was fortunate and froze some meat. And, have, like tomorrow night, I'm going to have a steak that I had frozen. And that'll be a good pick-me-up. But, yeah, I've been eating Chef Boyardee and canned chili. And, it's, that is what it is. Now, I do have something cool that I'll be bringing eyes. But I'm going to start making waffles. And these will be waffles to enjoy while on quarantine. And I think you're going to like that. Yeah, more buffering. You hear those sirens? They're coming to get me. You hear that? You hear those sirens? Ton of sirens. Oh, man, I must have triggered something. I don't know if y'all can hear the sirens through the live show. but they're coming. They are coming, man. A little freaky. Yeah, and I think it like the NSA or something, they just pop up and you wouldn't know they were there. Forget.